Okay, take three. He has finally went to sleep. Um, so I'm trying this again. All right. So come on in again. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. So this is another brief um, video in my series, and today we are going to talk about why do I keep allowing the same type of person in my life? Why do I keep allowing the same type of person in my life? So, stepping in your power, acknowledging that we are allowing it. I've allowed it myself. And why? Why do we keep allowing this? If you're at this point where you're asking that question, welcome. Good job. You are doing an amazing job because you're recognizing that there is a problem that needs addressed and that needs fixed. If you're one of the lucky few who you learned from your mistakes once years ago and it never happened to you again, that's great. Please feel free to forward and share this with someone else who can benefit from it, because that's not all of our experiences and situation. So let's get started. This is going to be brief because I don't want him waking up when he starts to feel I'm not in the room. I don't know, things be happening. So, you ready to hear why you keep choosing or allowing the same type of people in your life? Because it's comfortable. I did it. Many of us have done it. It is comfortable because it may be a different person, different names, same scenario. And you know why? Because the devil that you do know is sometimes less intimidating than the one you don't know. It's comfortable. You know, it gets to the point where you can start to be like, okay, I'm with this person. It's going to start off as him or her, because men and women, wanting to know, why didn't you call me back last night? Why didn't you said you were going to be at X, Y, and Z, but actually you took a stop first. The control starts. Well, he or she likes me. You know, I remember saying that at one point, like when someone is really into my whereabouts, what I'm doing, why didn't you call me back? Who are you with? I'm not comfortable with you having friends of the opposite sex. I took it as, oh, wow. This person is really feeling me. They're feeling me so much so they don't want anyone else around me. I can say this to you guys now that is extremely toxic. That is not okay. You do not want someone who's going to smother you and control you. But I continued to allow controlling men in my life time and time again because it was comfortable. I knew the pattern. It starts with control, then there's that jealousy, then there's that envy, then that's that devaluing, I'm putting you down, and I need to keep you in your place to remind you that you'll never have someone better than me, or if I can't have you, no one else will have you. I began to choose that type of person because I saw it as a boldness, something that I didn't have, you know, being assertive. You know, they're not controlling, they're just assertive. No, they are controlling. It's controlling, but it was comfortable. So what's your thing? So for me, working with victims of domestic violence, dating as far back as 2011, it was, oh my gosh, some time ago. Hey Darnell, welcome. Lisa, David, welcome. So Darnell, okay, you're saying, is it easy to see the flag behaviors, or does it sneak up or blindside you? Now it is very easy to see the flag behaviors, and that's why I started business for myself and coaching for myself, because healing in hindsight is like, it's to the point where you can't unlearn what you've learned. Once you know what to look out for and once you know what to avoid, you cannot undo that. So The moment now, for me, the moment someone says, "Why didn't you call me back?" And not simply as, "Oh, did you forget? You said you were going to call me back." There's a tone. There, you can feel it. And it's immediately, I would be like, nope, I don't want it. I don't want it. But if you're not ready to face that hard decision, because there's some intrinsic work you have to do when you realize that you are allowing, and remember, there's power in allowing. That means that you are in control of who comes into your bubble and who stays on the outside of your bubble. So who are you allowing into your space? Take that control. Take that control. Words are so important, and words mean things. So I'm very careful and very, what word am I looking for? I'm very intentional about the words that I use now. As I continue my healing journey and my process, and as I help my clients on their journey and process, words are so intentional, so important for that journey. So what I was going to say earlier is I started working with victims of domestic violence back in, oh my gosh, was that 2007? 2007? I feel kind of old. And a lot of times, if control is a form of abuse, and there are so many levels of abuse, so that you might have people who constantly choose someone who beats them, constantly chooses someone who berates them, controls their finances, controls their whereabouts, their friends, is just, or mean and nasty. Have you experienced that? Someone who's just mean? And then I've even heard people say, get this, y'all, I've even heard people say, yeah, he or she is mean to everyone else, but not to me. Does that make you feel good to know that this person might potentially cuss out your mom or your brother, your cousin, but they're nice to you? How long do you think it'll be before it's your turn? But it's comfortable. It's comfortable. So a lot of times when you are asking yourself that question of, why do I keep allowing this type of person into my life? You need to figure out, what is it about that type of person, that characteristic of that person, that is comfortable to you? How far does it go back? Because there's always an original, I'm gonna say it, abuser, manipulator, narcissist, controller. There's an original person in your past. It can go back to childhood. It can go back to a very early stage in your life that made you feel comfortable with that behavior. And who is that person? That's the work that we have to do. And it's not pretty. It's kind of ugly. But if you're at the point where you're wondering, why is this happening? That is a good point. Now, if you're at that point and you're still going back and choosing the same type of person, you're not ready. And change is cyclical, but change takes place when you are ready for change. If you enjoy that behavior, you're going to keep attracting and going after and allowing that behavior. Darnell, absolutely. Yeah, spiritual discernment. Yeah, I did a video a few weeks back on tapping into your intuition. That discernment develops over time and gets really, 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 really strong. And it gets so strong that you don't have to second guess how you feel or why you feel what you feel. You just know it's not right. So now I'm at the point where I could say something doesn't feel right. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a relationship. It could be, I don't think I should make this big purchase. It doesn't feel right. I don't know if I want to allow my son to be around this type of person. It doesn't feel right. So that's when you get to that point, but you have to trust yourself. So there's work that must happen before you even get to that point of it doesn't feel right. So again, feel free to continue leaving your comments here. What we're talking about is, why do I keep allowing this type of person? Why do I keep allowing abusive people, controlling people, manipulative people? Yes, Shay, we can bury our discernment. I've done it. Why do I keep allowing that person in? And if you are allowing, get this, if you allow me to come to your house, if you allow me to sit at your table and to eat with you and your family, you can allow me to leave your house. So if you're allowing people in, you also have the power to remove them and tell them, you're not coming back anymore. You are not good for me. Getting to that place, getting to that point of just being like, it doesn't feel good. Don't you want to feel good? If you're treating someone well, why don't you think you deserve to be treated well in return? There was a quote I posted in my group, Healing in Hindsight. It said there's a difference between going through it with someone and being put through it with someone. So it's important to discern that difference, because a lot of times we'll stay in a situation, we'll trauma bond, we'll continue fixing people, going after people who needs fixing, or who needs, maybe they had a rough childhood, not a good relation with the mom or dad, they've always been on the outside, and you want to fix them. If you're an empath, you're a healer, you're a person who wants to fix people, that might draw that person to you. And then in typical abusive fashion, it becomes your turn. And then when it becomes your turn, you get to the point where you're like, but we've gone through so much together. I can't let this go. X, Y, and Z is really a good person. They just experienced blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, you're a good person. So why are you allowing abuse? Because that person was abused. Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense, and it's not as easy as I'm making it sound, and I understand that. I'm very, very much aware of it. As a person who have dealt with this, I'm very aware of that. So please don't think that I'm saying, get over it. You can do this, you're fine. No, there's work to be done, because you need to figure out why I want to keep fixing people. But if you can look, and if the majority, I'm going to say 95%, because it's going to be high if it's abuse. If the majority of what you are going through is because of what that person is putting you through, it is time to get that power and exit. And what that exit looks like for you is different than what it might look like for me, what it might look like for my friend over here. It's going to look different for each person. And if it is in fact abuse, if this is an abusive thing, the most dangerous time is when it's time to leave. So make sure you have a plan in place. But if a situation where you have maybe a leech, you have someone who's just taking everything from you, just take. You have children together, but you're a single parent with an adult in the house. So you have 2 babies under the age of 3 and 1 over the age of 35. Does that feel good? And then you leave that person, and then you find someone else to fill the same shoes as that person who is doing the same types of behavior that that person before them were doing. And it's a cycle, and it continues, and then it goes and it goes. And if you're not fortunate enough, you end up in your 60s, 70s, 40s, 50s, whatever age you can throw out there, and you're looking at shoulda, coulda, wouldas. We choose and allow the same people in because it is comfortable. It is comfortable. Well, if I get this person over here who, this person's too nice. They just kind of let me do what, I don't know if what they're saying is truthful. I don't know, and I'm speaking, this is Paula, okay? I don't know if, how do I know if I could trust them? At least I know with people who are, assertive. They say exactly, exactly how they feel. They put it all out on the table. Maybe I'm just sensitive. Maybe if I just toughen up. Yes, Tracy, reclaim that time. It's comfortable, and we need to get uncomfortable because it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. So when we find ourselves leaving a situation, leaving a relationship, leaving a friendship. It doesn't always have to be romantic. You know, there are people who have abusive friends. There are people who have abusive family members, abusive work environment. And you'll say, you might even vent and be like, I don't know why do I keep, choosing these types of friends? I'm a good friend. I'm showing myself friendly. You must, right? You're first showing yourself friendly to be a friend. I'm showing myself friendly. But this person is stabbing me in my back. And then a month or two later, another story, different name, different person, same characteristics, same personality. Absolutely, Sandy. Abuse has so many forms. So many forms. So many forms. And it becomes comfortable, and you turn around and you choose another friend who you didn't quite vet properly, or you choose another partner who you didn't quite vet properly, and then you find yourself in the same position that you were in before you found that person. And let me say something to you. What this does to the psyche is amazing, and not in a good way. What this does to your psyche is further confirms what that abuser has been telling you. And it's still a lie, but it confirms it to you, and perception is reality. So because you're choosing the same people over and over again, because they're abusing you, and because you share, get this, you share it with them, your past abuse, and they turn around and use that past abuse against you. So they've been collecting, this is what abusers do. They collect data. And then when they get upset with you, annoyed, whatever, well, you told me in the past that you were dating that person and they made you lose weight, or they made you feel like you were always, fat. But with me, you don't even want to go to the gym. I've heard that. This is something that was told to me. I told you in privacy, I dated an abusive person who controlled my eating, who controlled my weight. In the moment that you wanted me to go to the gym, or the moment that you didn't like the way my body looked, you said, well, you lost weight for that person who told you that you didn't look good enough. Whew. Oh my gosh. Double abuse. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? So you start to be like, well, maybe that other abuser, maybe I do have issues with eating. Maybe I do need to control my weight. Maybe I do insert lie here. I'm being transparent. This is my story. Shout out to my coach, Stephanie McKenzie, who's challenged me to be transparent. Yeah, and at a certain point, now you have an eating disorder. Now you have issues with food, unhealthy issues with food. And it probably started before that other abuser. There was probably something before that even made you comfortable with that person saying that to you and not smacking them. Because tell me now to take some food out of my mouth and see what happens. But this is the new Paula. But yeah, and then you'll start to believe it. And depression will sink in. Worst case scenario for some people, it's even suicide. Why am I even here? Everyone hurts me. Everyone I love hurts me. But we're failing to realize that people who love you don't hurt you. Love does not hurt. You do not get a prize for being with someone who hurts you and stabs you, watches you bleed, and says, but I love you. That's not love. If you want to know what type of fruit you're eating, if you want to know what type of tree you're at and what type of fruit it's bearing, look at the leaves, look at the fruit. Someone said, how do you know that person is being genuine? I don't know if I can ever trust someone again. Look at their fruit. Look at the fruit. What are they producing? I can do this all day, but what am I producing? What am I showing you? You have to look at the fruit. And I think that's honestly the best advice I can give someone. If you are exiting, transitioning, recovering from an abusive situation, and your fear is, why do I keep choosing the same person? How do I keep from choosing the same person? How do I know this person is genuine? Look at their fruit, because a person abusing you was showing their hand. And they've showed their hand time and time again, and you might have said, you know what, but that's who they are. That's just who they are, which is radical acceptance, and that's great that you're radically accepting that this person is a jerk. That doesn't mean you have to be with them or around them. I can accept that you're mean and nasty and keep you over there. And if it's a family member and we have Thanksgiving dinner coming up or whatever, then we could talk later on about, how to navigate that. But you can accept someone's nasty behavior and not be around them and keep them over there. They don't need to be in your space. If you understood how important and how valuable you are, how valuable your time was, and how amazing you are as a person, then you understand why these leeches are attracted to you. You don't see them with each other. They don't want to be with someone just as nasty as they are. No, they want to be with you because you're a good person. And you mean well. And they know they ain't about nothing. So they need someone to stroke their ego. And that's what we'll do. So acknowledge that you are the prize. And I feel like I've had this conversation with a friend. I can't remember. But just know you are the prize. Yes, respect your energy. Respect your energy. You are the prize. You're going to attract people, good, bad, indifferent. You're going to attract them. It's who you allow to stick. So don't be down on yourself if someone who's a jerk is like trying to talk to you, or someone is trying to be in your circle or trying to be your friend. Don't be upset, because you're going to attract. If you're a genuinely good person and you have that light shines and attracts. Like a moth to a flame, you're going to attract. You need to get some repellent. And that is your intuition, and that is your discernment. Because someone is going to walk up to you and say, hey, Paula, I've been seeing you around, and oh my gosh, I want to get to know you. I want to be a good friend. Okay, great. Let's go have some lunch. Let's go get a coffee together. And then during that meeting, listen to what they're saying. Don't be so quick to start giving up information. Don't tell your whole life story because you finally found a friend, or you finally found someone who's your type and they're cute and whatever. Let them speak. If your issue is discerning and figuring out who the best person is and how to not attract the same type of person, be more of a listener and take things in and listen and observe that fruit and listen to what your inside is telling you. It'll save you so much heartache. So if you're here, you're listening to this, and you're wondering why you're choosing the same type of person, I hope something I said resonated with you. If you want to discuss this further, you can always hit me up. I love to chat. As you guys know, I am a coach, and I focus on helping individuals who are transitioning, recovering, or exiting abusive relationships. My clientele is mostly women. It has mostly been women. If you're a man, I'm not going to turn you away. But if something has resonated with you and you want to know more and you want to understand how to set healthy boundaries and get some repellent and protect your space and your energy, message me. Let's chat. I would love to chat with you, because this energy is invaluable. It is so important. It will add years to your life as opposed to taking years out of your life. I've seen couples who, one was extremely toxic, the other one was the user, and guess who died first? It wasn't the user. They're not stressed. So remember to protect your energy, protect your space. Thank you guys all for tuning in, and the baby did not wake up. All right, I'll talk to you later.